Last week, I met a 67-year-old widower named Carl who shared something that broke my heart. He told me, "I think I'm invisible to women now." Carl felt forgotten, like his chances for romance had quietly slipped away with age. But what he didn't realize was that he wasn't invisible at all. 3 different women had shown interest in him that very month, each using subtle ways to flirt, ways he completely missed. If you're over 60 and wondering why women seem uninterested, here's the truth. They're often more interested than you think. Women our age have mastered the art of quiet, strategic flirting. They don't play games like they did in their younger years. Instead, they ask meaningful questions that help them understand if you might be the right person to share companionship, laughter, and life's next adventures with. Unfortunately, many men overlook these signs, mistaking them for simple small talk. But romance doesn't have to end after 60. It's still alive, vibrant, and waiting for those who know how to recognize it. Today, I want to share those 5 key questions women ask when they're flirting. Questions that could change how you see dating at this stage of life forever. If you are not subscribed, subscribe and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. If you like the topic of this video, please comment 1. If you don't, please comment 0 to let me know how I can improve and make better videos for you. Now, let's begin. Question 1. Are you enjoying retirement? When you step into retirement, the world shifts in subtle, surprising ways. There's a different rhythm to your days, a gentler pace to your mornings. The coffee tastes just a bit richer, and the sunlight through the kitchen window seems warmer. Yet for many older men, like my friend Carl, there's a quiet fear that comes with this new chapter, a sense that life's most exciting connections are over. Carl, a retired school principal and widower, confessed to me over lunch that he felt invisible. "It's like women look right through me now," he said, his voice tinged with sadness. But what Carl didn't realize was that while the signals may be quieter, they're still there. Sometimes they're even more meaningful, if you know what to look for. Let's talk about the first question women ask when they're interested, a question that might seem like harmless small talk but holds a world of meaning. Are you enjoying retirement? At a glance, it's an innocent inquiry, something you might hear at the grocery store, after church, or while waiting in line at the pharmacy. Yet beneath the surface, this question is packed with purpose. Women our age don't often come right out and declare their interest. Instead, they use thoughtful questions to gently open the door, hoping to peek inside your world and see if you might be someone worth inviting into theirs. The real meaning behind, "Are you enjoying retirement?" What's going on when a woman asks if you're enjoying retirement? She isn't just making polite conversation or trying to fill an awkward silence. She's carefully gauging what your days look like, what brings you joy, and what kind of partner you might be now that the daily grind is behind you. She wants to know if you found a new purpose, if you're taking care of yourself, and most importantly, if you're still living with passion. The psychology, what she's asking. If you listen closely, you'll hear 3 distinct questions wrapped up in that one simple sentence. First, she's quietly checking your financial stability. She doesn't need the numbers, but the way you talk about your retirement says a lot. If you seem content and comfortable, it signals that you planned well, and you're not carrying the weight of money worries. That peace of mind is attractive, not because of the money itself, but because it suggests you're secure, generous, and able to focus on the joys of life rather than just survival. Second, she's testing your availability. Are you sitting at home, feeling bored and isolated, or are you out there learning, exploring, and giving back? Retirement, for many women, is a chance to find a partner who's not just waiting for the next TV show, but who's still eager to experience life. Third, she's assessing your attitude. Do you see retirement as the end, or the beginning of something new? Are you full of resentment for what you've lost, or gratitude for the time you've gained? Your answer paints a picture of the energy you'll bring into a relationship, whether you're someone who'll inspire and uplift, or someone who'll pull her into your regrets. Examples: the Carl story versus the David story. Let me give you two stories I've seen firsthand, stories that could make all the difference in how you approach this question. Not long ago, at our community center's Thursday morning coffee hour, I watched as Sophia, a bright-eyed widow who'd recently moved to town, struck up a conversation with Carl. She smiled warmly and asked, "So, Carl, are you enjoying retirement?" Carl, honest as always, shrugged and replied, "It's okay, I guess. I have a lot of time on my hands. Not much to do." Sophia's smile faded just a little, and after a moment of polite conversation, she excused herself to refill her cup. The opportunity slipped away. Now, compare that to David, a retired engineer and grandfather of 6. I ran into him at a little cafe down the street, where he was chatting with Linda, a fellow regular. When she asked, "Are you enjoying retirement?" David's face lit up. "You know, I thought I'd be bored, but I've never been busier. I'm finally learning photography, something I've always wanted to do. I volunteer at the animal shelter, and just last week, I started helping my neighbor restore an old Chevy truck. It's a little chaotic, but I wouldn't trade it for anything." Then he turned the conversation back to Linda, asking, "How about you? Are you enjoying this stage of life, or are you still out there conquering the business world?" Linda laughed, and the two of them spent another hour sharing stories about their passions and plans. Body language cues to watch for. Of course, it's not just the words that matter, it's the way the question is asked. If a woman leans in a little closer, holds your gaze, and listens intently to your answer, she's not just being polite. She's hoping to find a spark, something in your voice or your story that invites her to imagine what it might be like to share these golden years with you. If she asks follow-up questions, curious about your hobbies, asking what you do with your time, or even sharing her interests in return, those are green lights. That's a woman saying, "Tell me more. Let's see if our lives might fit together." 3 response strategies for attraction. So, how do you answer in a way that draws her in, rather than shuts her out? First, try the passion approach. Talk about something that genuinely excites you. Maybe it's a new skill you're learning, a club you've joined, or a volunteer project that makes you feel alive. Don't feel like you have to impress anyone. Just be honest about what brings you joy. Passion is contagious, and it's one of the most attractive qualities you can share. Second, use the mystery approach. Leave a little curiosity in your answer. Mention a new adventure or challenge you've taken on, but don't give away every detail. Maybe you're planning a road trip across Route 66, or you've started writing a memoir. Let her ask questions, and invite her to share her dreams and goals. Third, try the engagement approach. Instead of making it all about you, turn the question back to her. Ask what she loves about this stage of life, or what new things she's discovered since retiring. People are drawn to those who show genuine interest in their stories and experiences. The takeaway: retirement as a new beginning. Retirement isn't just an end, it's a new beginning. It's the chapter where you get to decide what matters most and invest your time and heart accordingly. Women who ask about your retirement aren't just making small talk. They're hoping to catch a glimpse of your true self, the version of you that's still curious, still dreaming, still open to connection. If you find yourself feeling lost or lonely, remember that you're not alone. There's a whole world of people, men and women alike, who are looking for meaningful relationships and shared adventures at this very stage of life. The trick is to recognize when someone is reaching out and to respond with warmth, honesty, and hope. Maybe you'll meet someone at a book club, at the farmer's market, or even waiting in line at the pharmacy. Maybe you'll be asked, "Are you enjoying retirement?" And when that moment comes, you'll know that behind those simple words is a genuine invitation to share your story, to connect over what brings you joy, and to start a new adventure with someone who wants to be part of it. So next time you hear that question, take a breath and answer with your whole heart. Show her the spark that's still alive inside you, The passion for life that doesn't fade with age. You never know, the best chapter of your story might be waiting just around the corner, all because you dared to answer with hope and honesty. If you've ever been asked this question and wondered what it meant, I'd love to hear your thoughts. How do you spend your days? What makes retirement meaningful for you? Share your experiences, because your story might just inspire someone else to step forward and embrace this new beginning, too. Question 2. Do you cook for yourself? For many of us, the kitchen was once a stage for family routines, Sunday suppers, and decades-old recipes passed down from mothers and grandmothers. Yet when life changes, children move away, or a partner is no longer at the table, the question of cooking for yourself becomes more than just practical. It becomes a reflection of who you are now, in this season of life. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. I've noticed that when women our age strike up a conversation, they sometimes slip in a question that sounds simple but is anything but, do you cook for yourself? Some men might brush it off, thinking it's just idle chatter about food. But if you listen with an open heart, you'll hear something much deeper, a woman quietly asking, are you independent? Are you caring for yourself? Are you the kind of man I could share a cozy evening with, rather than care for like a project? Take the story of Larry, a neighbor I've known for years. Larry lost his wife several winters ago, and since then, meals have been an afterthought. One afternoon at the local bookstore cafe, a kind, silver-haired lady named Nancy asked him, "So, do you cook for yourself these days?" Larry sighed. "Not really. I just pick up takeout or heat something frozen. My wife used to do all the cooking. Never really learned myself." You could almost see the warmth drain from Nancy's smile. In that moment, the conversation shifted. Something subtle and hopeful faded away. For Nancy, it was about more than just food. It was about whether Larry was open to building something new, or still living in the shadow of the past. Contrast that with Samuel, a retired postal worker with a twinkle in his eye. Samuel's path crossed Patricia's at the farmer's market on a sunny Saturday morning. Amidst the rows of fresh tomatoes and crisp apples, Patricia casually asked, "Do you cook for yourself, Samuel?" He grinned. "I've become quite the weekend chef. Last Sunday, I made a seafood risotto. Took me 3 tries to get it right, but by the end, I was pretty proud, and so was my smoke alarm." Patricia laughed, and Samuel continued, "I enjoy cooking for friends, too. How about you? Do you ever experiment in the kitchen?" Patricia's eyes lit up as they swapped stories about favorite recipes and kitchen disasters, and before long, they were planning to attend a cooking class together. You see, cooking for yourself in retirement isn't just about eating. It's about independence, adaptability, and the possibility of new intimacy. A woman who asks this question is quietly searching for a man who takes pride in caring for himself, who is resourceful and curious, and who hasn't given up on the small pleasures of daily life. She's not looking for a gourmet chef, nor does she expect you to rival Julia Child. What she's hoping for is evidence of a man who is comfortable in his skin and open to sharing the simple, comforting rituals that make a house feel like home. Maybe she pictures you two trying out a new recipe together, or sipping coffee at the kitchen table on a rainy morning. Maybe she just wants to know you can look after yourself, and by extension, that you have the emotional room and self-respect to welcome someone new. The psychology here is richer than it first appears. Many women our age have spent decades caring for others: children, spouses, parents. At this point in life, they want a partner, not another responsibility. If your answer suggests you're still relying on the habits of your old life, or waiting for someone else to fill your plate, it signals you may not be ready to move forward. But if your answer shows you're taking care of yourself, enjoying the little adventures of life, even if that means a few burnt pancakes along the way, it reveals resilience, a sense of humor, and a willingness to share both triumphs and mishaps. The body language is just as telling as the words. If she's asking while sharing a smile, glancing at your hands, or mentioning her cooking, she's probably hoping for more than a yes or no answer. If she follows up by asking what you like to make, or jokes about learning a new recipe together, take that as an invitation. She's picturing the two of you together, not just sharing meals but making new memories. So how should you respond if a woman asks, "Do you cook for yourself?" First, don't apologize if you're not a master chef. No one expects perfection. Instead, focus on your openness to learning, your enjoyment of trying new things, or your appreciation for simple, hearty meals. Maybe you make a mean chili, or maybe you're still figuring out how to boil an egg, but you'd love to swap tips and stories. The secret ingredient is sincerity. Consider the 3 best ways to answer. The competent approach: I do. I'm not fancy, but I enjoy cooking a good stew or grilling out on weekends. There's something relaxing about it. The learning approach: I wasn't much of a cook before, but lately I've been trying out new recipes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it's a disaster, but it's always fun. The sharing approach: I love cooking for friends or family. There's nothing better than a kitchen full of laughter and the smell of something baking. Maybe you could teach me one of your favorites sometime. What you want to avoid is sounding helpless or stuck in the past. I can't cook at all, or my late wife did everything for me, or bragging so much you sound unapproachable. Authenticity and warmth always win the day. At its heart, this question is about partnership. She wants to see if you are ready for a life that is shared, not just managed. She's imagining quiet mornings, bustling kitchens, simple suppers, and the kind of companionship that makes even an ordinary Tuesday feel special. Are you the sort of man who can pour 2 cups of coffee instead of 1? Who can laugh when the biscuits burn, and try again the next morning? So the next time a woman asks if you cook for yourself, remember, she's asking if you're ready to care for yourself, and perhaps for someone new, too. She's wondering if you can build something together, even if it starts with something as humble as scrambled eggs and toast. If you're still learning, that's wonderful. If you're an old hand in the kitchen, that's great, too. What matters most is your willingness to grow, to share, and to invite someone in. Because the simple act of cooking for yourself, and being open to cooking with someone else, might just be the start of a new recipe for happiness. And if you have a favorite dish, or a cooking disaster that turned into a funny story, don't be shy. Share it the next time you're asked. That spark of openness is often what kindles the fire for something more. So tell me, how do you feed yourself these days? Is it a microwave dinner for one, or are you trying your hand at a pot of homemade soup? Whatever your answer, let it reflect not just what's on your plate, but what's in your heart. Because sometimes, the way to someone's heart does start in the kitchen. Question 3. Are you close to your family? If you've ever spent an afternoon at a community picnic, a church gathering, or even a neighborhood block party, you'll know that conversations among folks our age have a gentle, familiar rhythm. After you've talked about retirement, compared notes on hobbies, and swapped stories about travel or favorite recipes, the topic almost always turns to family. It's natural. Family, after all, is the thread that weaves through our lives, sometimes tight and strong, sometimes loose and frayed, but always there. That's why, when a woman asks, "Are you close to your family?" it's never just a casual question. She's not simply looking to fill silence or gather surface details about your life. She's asking about the relationships that have shaped you, about your heart, your past, and your ability to love. For women our age, family isn't just about blood. It's about values, emotional maturity, and perhaps most of all, about whether you have room in your life for someone new. The real meaning behind, "Are you close to your family?" At its core, this question is a quiet test of your emotional intelligence. She wants to know how you connect with others, how you handle conflict, and how you show up when things get tough. Are you warm and giving, or are you distant and closed off? Are you defined by old wounds, or have you found the wisdom to move past them? It's also her way of seeing if you carry bitterness, resentment, or unresolved pain. Life at our age isn't without scars, but the way you talk about your family, whether with grace or with grumbling, reveals the kind of partner you might be. Will you be supportive, understanding, and open, or will you let past hurts cast a shadow on new beginnings? The psychology, what she's asking. Every woman who's lived a little knows that the blueprint for how you love her is written in how you've loved others. Your relationship with your family says everything about your capacity for affection, forgiveness, and empathy. It shows whether you've learned to let go, to cherish the good, and to grow from the not so good. She's also trying to gauge your availability. Are you so wrapped up in family obligations that there's no space for a romantic partner? Or are you so disconnected that you seem adrift and lonely? She's looking for a sweet spot, a man who values family, but who also values the possibility of building something new, together. And make no mistake, the way you answer this question can either open a door to a deeper connection or gently close it. Examples: the Raymond story versus the Walter story. Let me tell you about two men who answered this question in very different ways. The first was Raymond, a retired insurance salesman I met at a senior center dance. When Helen, a widow with a big heart and a ready smile, asked if he was close to his family, Raymond's face clouded. "My kids barely call anymore," he muttered. "My daughter lives across the country, and my son's too busy with his own life. Family doesn't mean much these days." Helen's expression softened, but the spark in her eyes faded. It wasn't that Raymond had lost touch with his kids. Life happens, and distance sometimes can't be helped. It was his bitterness, the sense that he was holding on to disappointment, that made the conversation stall. Instead of opening a window to his world, he'd drawn the curtains. Now, let's look at Walter, a retired veterinarian and the proud granddad of 4. At a wine tasting event, Grace, a lively woman with a twinkle in her eye, asked him the same question. Walter's response was different. "I'm blessed with great kids and grandkids," he said, his voice warm. "We're close, but not clingy, if you know what I mean. I love that they've built their own lives, and I love being part of it when they want me around. Family's important, but I've learned there's room in life for many kinds of love." Then he turned to Grace and asked, "How about you? Are you one of those lucky ones with a close family, or have you built your own chosen family over the years?" If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 2 below to let me know that you are still here with me. Grace smiled, feeling seen and understood. Walter hadn't painted a picture of perfection, just one of balance, gratitude, and openness. He'd shown that he could be a loving partner without being weighed down by regrets or needs. Body language cues to watch for. When a woman brings up family, notice how she asks. Are her eyes soft, her voice gentle? Does she seem genuinely curious, or is she simply passing the time? If she leans in, asks about your children or grandchildren, or shares stories of her own, she's hoping for a glimpse into your emotional world. If she lingers on the topic, smiles at your memories, or even laughs at your tales of family chaos, she's letting you know that this matters to her. Sometimes, she might test the waters first, asking about your holiday traditions or favorite childhood memories. These are gentle ways of seeing if you're willing to open up, to share not just the facts but the feelings that come with them. Response strategies that spark attraction. How you answer this question says more than any resume ever could. First, the balanced approach. Show that you love your family, but that you're not defined by them. I'm grateful for my family, and we stay in touch as much as we can. But I also appreciate my independence and the friendships I've built over the years. Second, the growth approach. Talk about how your family relationships have changed and deepened. We've had our ups and downs, but I think we're closer now than ever. Getting older has taught me a lot about forgiveness and letting go. Third, the wisdom approach. Share what your family has taught you about love and life. Raising my kids taught me patience, and now watching them raise their children reminds me of the joy in little moments. Fourth, the open approach. Let her know you have space in your life and heart. Family's important, but I also believe there's always room for new connections. Life is richer when it's shared with friends and loved ones, no matter how they come into your life. Whatever you do, avoid dwelling on family drama, appearing bitter or resentful, or suggesting that family is the only thing that matters to you. Women want to hear that you're capable of healthy boundaries and that you have the emotional maturity to embrace love in all its forms. The takeaway: emotional availability and the beauty of a balanced life. When you're asked about your family, see it as a chance to show who you are. Not just a grandfather, a father, or an uncle, but a man who's lived, learned, and grown. Your answer isn't about perfection. It's about presence, resilience, and hope. Maybe your family lives close by, and you see them every Sunday for dinner. Maybe they're scattered across the country, and you keep in touch through calls and holiday cards. Maybe you've built a chosen family from friends, neighbors, and the people who've stood by you through thick and thin. What matters is that you've learned the lessons of love, that you can laugh about the tough times, and that you welcome the possibility of adding someone new to your circle. So next time a woman asks, "Are you close to your family?" take it as the compliment it is, a sign that she's interested, that she wants to know your heart. Share honestly, listen deeply, and let your answer reflect the man you are today. Because in the end, the best relationships aren't built on flawless histories, but on open hearts and the courage to keep loving, no matter where the journey takes us. Question 4. What keeps you busy these days? When you reach this wonderful stage of life, retirement, grandkids, new hobbies, and the luxury of time, it's natural for conversations to turn toward what fills your days. What keeps you busy these days? May sound like a casual question, but for an interested woman, it's much more. This simple inquiry is a window into your world, a way for her to understand how you live, what you love, and whether you have room in your life for something or someone new. The real meaning behind what keeps you busy these days. Women over 60 have learned that life's richness doesn't come from avoiding work, but from pursuing passions that make the heart sing. When she asks what keeps you busy, she's gauging your zest for life, your energy, your purpose, your social connections. She's looking to see if you're growing, learning, and engaging with the world around you, or if you're merely passing time waiting for something to happen. More subtly, she's also asking about your availability. Are you so consumed by activities and obligations that there's no space left for a relationship? Or are you spending your days in quiet isolation? She wants to find that balance. A man who is engaged and fulfilled but still open to sharing his life with someone special. The psychology, what she's asking. This question tests your ability to adapt, your curiosity, and your social life, all markers of a man who is vibrant and alive. It's an invitation to share your journey, your evolving identity beyond your career, and your role as a father or grandfather. It reveals your values. Do you seek growth, connection, and meaning? She's also interested in your emotional health. How you spend your time speaks volumes about how you care for yourself. A man actively involved in learning, volunteering, or creative pursuits is signaling resilience and optimism. These qualities are magnetic, especially to women who've seen life's ups and downs. Examples: the Dennis story versus the Michael story. I once observed a conversation at a community garden where Louise asked Dennis, a retired accountant, the question that can make or break a budding connection: "What keeps you busy these days?" Dennis shrugged and replied, "Not much. I watch a lot of TV, do some grocery shopping, and maybe visit the hardware store. Pretty quiet life." Louise smiled politely but quickly found an excuse to leave. Dennis's answer told a story of a man coasting through life, lacking purpose and excitement. The invitation to share life's richness quietly passed him by. Contrast that with Michael, a retired teacher I met at a local bookstore. When Carol asked him the same question, his eyes lit up. "Oh, I'm having the time of my life," he said. "I'm learning Spanish, always wanted to do that." I volunteer at the literacy center twice a week, and I've gotten really into bird photography. Just last weekend, I hiked 5 miles to catch a shot of a rare warbler. I'm also helping my neighbor restore a classic car, which is way harder than I thought, but a lot of fun. Then he smiled and asked Carol, "How about you? Are you busier now than when you were working?" Michael's answer painted a picture of a man full of curiosity, energy, and a willingness to embrace new adventures. He showed balance, engaged but not overwhelmed, active but available. Body language cues to watch for. When a woman asks what keeps you busy, pay attention to how she asks. Is her voice warm and curious? Does she lean in slightly, eyes bright and focused on you? If she listens intently, nods, and follows up with questions, she's not just being polite, she's interested. She might share her activities too, hoping to find common ground or to invite you to join her. If she touches your arm gently while talking or holds eye contact longer than usual, those are signs that the conversation is more than casual. Response strategies that spark attraction. How you answer this question can invite a deeper connection. First, the learning approach. Talk about how you're growing intellectually or emotionally. I've always wanted to learn Spanish, so I started classes at the community college. It's challenging, but it keeps my mind sharp and my spirit curious. Second, the service approach. Highlight your commitment to others. I volunteer twice a week at the local literacy center. Helping people learn to read is deeply rewarding. It reminds me there's always a chance to make a difference. Third, the creative approach. Share your artistic or inventive side. I've recently taken up bird photography. It's a way to slow down and appreciate the small wonders around us. Fourth, the physical approach. Emphasize how you stay active. I enjoy hiking and just finished a 5-mile trek to spot a rare bird. Staying active keeps me feeling alive. Fifth, the social approach. Talk about your community and friendships. I spend time with friends at the garden club and help organize our neighborhood events. It's great to feel connected. Avoid sounding bored or overwhelmed. Don't list chores or errands as your main activities, and avoid complaining about having nothing to do. Instead, paint a picture of a rich, full life that still has space for companionship. The takeaway: a life full of meaning and openness. When a woman asks what keeps you busy, she's inviting you to show your true self, your passions, your energy, your heart. She's hoping to see that you're a man who embraces life fully, even after retirement. A man who finds joy in learning, giving, creating, moving, and connecting. At this stage of life, it's not about having a packed schedule. It's about having a meaningful one. It's about balance, being engaged and independent, but also open to love and partnership. So next time you hear, "What keeps you busy these days?" take it as an opportunity to share the richness of your journey. Show her the vibrant, curious man you are. And maybe, just maybe, you'll find that sharing your days with someone special makes life's adventures even sweeter. If this question has ever caught you off guard, or if you have stories about what fills your days, I'd love to hear them. Your experiences could inspire others to embrace the beauty of life after 60 and to open their hearts to new possibilities. Question 5. How do you stay so positive? By the time we reach our golden years, life has handed us its fair share of challenges. Loss, change, health struggles, and moments when the weight of it all feels heavy. Yet, amid these trials, some people seem to carry a lightness, a quiet joy, a resilience that shines through. When a woman asks you, "How do you stay so positive?" she's not just complimenting your outlook. She's inviting you into a deeper conversation about how you've met life storms and chosen to keep moving forward. The real meaning behind, "How do you stay so positive?" This question is a masterful blend of compliment, curiosity, and invitation. She's noticed something attractive in your demeanor, your warmth, your calm, your ability to find light even in tough times. She wants to understand what fuels that strength and whether it's something she can share with you. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 3 below to let me know that you are still here with me. It's not about pretending life has been easy or avoiding the hard stuff. Instead, it's about your wisdom, your emotional resilience, and your capacity to find meaning despite adversity. Positivity, especially at our age, signals hope, growth, and the kind of companionship that nurtures both hearts. The psychology, what she's asking. When a woman asks this question, she's probing your inner world. She's curious about your philosophy, your coping mechanisms, and how you maintain joy. She wants to know if you're someone who has learned to transform pain into compassion, setbacks into lessons, and ordinary moments into sources of happiness. It's also a test of emotional intelligence. Life inevitably includes loss of loved ones, health, roles, and sometimes purpose. A man who remains positive isn't naive. He's someone who has accepted life's impermanence and chosen gratitude and hope over bitterness and despair. Examples: the Alan story versus the Eugene story. At a local library book club, I saw this question put to Alan, a retired engineer who'd recently lost his wife. When Marlene, a fellow member, asked, "How do you stay so positive?" Alan sighed, then confessed, "I'm not really that positive, to be honest. Life's been pretty tough lately. My arthritis is acting up, and I worry about the world going downhill. I'm just trying to get through each day." Marlene's smile faded. The connection they might have had dimmed in that moment. Contrast that with Eugene, a retired artist I met at a gallery opening. When Marlene asked Eugene the same question, he smiled thoughtfully and said, "I learned a few years ago that I can't control what life throws at me, but I can control how I respond. Every challenge has taught me something valuable, and every loss has deepened my appreciation for the good things I still have. Joy, I found, is a choice, a daily decision to focus on what nourishes the soul rather than what weighs it down." Then he asked, "What about you? Have you found ways to create your happiness, or are you naturally one of those sunny people?" Eugene's answer revealed wisdom, growth, and a willingness to share his outlook. His eyes sparkled with life, and Marlene leaned in, clearly captivated by his perspective. Body language cues to watch for. When a woman asks how you stay so positive, notice her tone and demeanor. Is her voice soft and intimate? Does she hold your gaze longer than usual? Is she leaning closer, as if eager to catch every word? These signs mean she's not just making conversation. She's genuinely interested in your heart. She may touch your arm lightly or nod encouragingly as you speak. Often, this question comes after she's spent some time observing you, noticing the calm or joy you carry. It's a doorway to a deeper emotional connection. Response strategies that spark attraction. How you answer is a chance to invite trust and warmth. First, the wisdom approach. Share a life lesson that guides your perspective. I've learned that life isn't about avoiding storms, but learning to dance in the rain. Challenges remind me what truly matters. Second, the gratitude approach. Emphasize appreciation for the present. Focusing on what I have instead of what I've lost helps me find peace and happiness every day. Third, the growth approach. Describe how adversity has made you stronger. Every difficulty has been a chance to grow and become more compassionate. That keeps me hopeful. Fourth, the choice approach. Highlight that positivity is an active decision. I choose joy every morning. It's not always easy, but it's worth it. Avoid minimizing the compliment or pretending everything's perfect. Be honest about life's hardships, but show that you found strength in them. The takeaway: positivity as a magnet for connection. This question is more than just a compliment. It's a signal that she sees you as someone special. She's attracted to your resilience, your emotional depth, and your ability to bring light into life's darker moments. Being positive at our age isn't about ignoring reality. It's about embracing it with courage and hope. It's about choosing to be a partner who lifts others, who finds joy in small moments, and who understands that love and happiness are cultivated every day. So, when you're asked, how do you stay so positive? Take a moment to reflect and respond from the heart. Share your story, your lessons, and your daily commitment to joy. You might just inspire someone else to do the same, and start a beautiful new chapter together. If you've faced challenges and found ways to stay hopeful, I invite you to share your experiences. Your story could be the light someone else needs to keep moving forward with courage and love. As we come to the end of this conversation, I hope you're seeing something new. A fresh perspective on the quiet signals and meaningful questions that women over 60 use to show interest. Romance doesn't fade with age. It simply changes its rhythm, becoming softer but no less powerful. The 5 questions we explored today are more than just words. They are invitations. Invitations to connect, to share, to open your heart, and to step into a new chapter of life filled with companionship and joy. If you've ever wondered whether a woman was flirting with you or how to respond when those subtle signs appear, remember this. It's about being genuine, showing your passion for life, and inviting her into your story. Whether it's talking about your retirement adventures, sharing your kitchen wins and failures, opening up about family, describing what fills your days, or revealing how you keep your spirit bright, each answer is a chance to build a bridge. Don't let uncertainty hold you back. You deserve love, laughter, and connection at every age. It's never too late to find someone who sees you, appreciates you, and wants to walk beside you through this beautiful season of life. If this video has sparked something in you, please take a moment to share in the comments below. What question resonated most with you? Have you experienced moments like these in your own life? Your stories and reflections could inspire others to take that first step toward love and connection. And if you found value here, please like this video, share it with friends who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We're here to walk this journey together, helping you navigate love, life, and everything in between with confidence and heart. Thank you for being here. Your story matters, and your next chapter is waiting.